Welcome to Launch Code, a premier business podcast, starring Evan Hafer, Matt Best, and Jared Taylor.
Okay. Hey, welcome to the Launch Code podcast. I've got a very special guest here today. Ray and I have been friends for a long time, and I definitely appreciate him stopping by here at SHOT Show just to give us an update on what's going on. So welcome to Launch Code, Ray. Appreciate it, buddy.
Thank you for having me,
stopping
sir.
in, man.
Mr. Evan, Mr. Big Dog. How you doing, sir?
Good, man. It's good to see you. I was just apologizing to Ray literally yesterday. I was like, I'm sorry, man. I've been a super shitty friend for like 2 years. And Ray's always the guy that's like super moto and super positive and like, hey, dude, don't worry about it. Like, but I feel like shit because
I'm in the fetal position and I crying in the shower like I'm dirty and I need to clean myself. But yeah, I'm doing better. It took a while. I had to see some counseling, but me and Trisha, we're overcoming it.
You're overcoming it.
Yep.
So, Ray, give us your, for those of the tactical community or veteran community that's been on the moon, they might not know who you are. Give us your 5-minute bio, man, or 10, or spend as much time as you want on it.
Yeah, I mean, real quick, Ray Care, call sign Cash. Originally, I'm the Care Bear, but when I showed up to do some work with you back in the day,
right,
somebody already had that call sign, so I had a Cash shirt on it. It changed. I did 12 years in the military, 8 of which were a SEAL. I was an East Coast guy, SDV Team 2. Proud of it. Got out. Did some venturing, some consulting, some consulting work overseas. And then a few years ago, I just decided to drop the mic and do what I love, and that's motivating people. Opened up a company called, I have a website called frogmindset.com. Frog stands for Forever Reaching One's Goal. And then we branched off from that, and now I have the company called Conquer. So how it breaks down is, and obviously I'm talking to you, and this is, the answers, but 7 points of performance with shooting. We have 7 things that we do that we have to apply to be a proficient shooter.
Right.
And what I've done is I've taken the word conquer, the same 7 steps, and instead of having the stance and the grip and the trigger pull, I've just used those letters. They mean something to attack life, to master you.
Okay.
And, what I explain to people is, and some people are like, well, I don't shoot, is I explain that, if you do A, B, C, F, and G, the 7 points, when the round leaves the chamber, and if you're looking at that front sight and the front alignment, that's clear. The target is blurry. You know that if we're shooting the 2 rounds of 25.
Right.
But if you're doing everything right, once that round leaves the chamber, you're going to be hitting paper. Now, are we going to be hitting kill shots every time? No, but the goal is, and the last one of Conquer is R, is repetition, which we'll get into, is you got to do it over and over and over again. You know this. Shooting is a what? If you don't do it, it's a perishable skill.
Perishable skill.
So you have to get up every day, just like, being motivated and being driven is a perishable skill.
Right.
Some days you get up and you're like, fuck, I don't want to get up. But you know what? It's just, I want to get that shot group tighter. So that's what I'm doing. And I get to hang out with fucking cool people like you and, the rest of your crew and, the who's who of just being, and I don't want to be like the who's who, but just guys that are cool and awesome at what they do. Surround yourself with people who are better than you. One of the drills I tell people, and I know everybody's heard it, is pick 5 of your friends, your closest friends, your inner circle, your tribe, your squad, whatever the hell it's called. And they are a direct reflection of you, and you are a direct reflection of them.
Right.
So through the years, I have what I call trim the fat. I've gotten rid of some. I've been an ambassador to a bunch of companies. If you guys see it now, I'm pretty thin. I pretty much only run with 2 companies right now, which I'll give them a big plug here later. And that's what it is. It has to be a give and take relationship, just like in life. Instead of just gimme.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said about 3 years ago, I just said, screw this, man. I'm gonna trim the fat. I'm gonna get rid of everything, and I'm gonna move on. And I'm plowing my own path, man. And no one or nothing's gonna stop me.
It's funny, man. I've seen, because we've known each other for a long time.
Yeah.
I think I ran into you in Baghdad. I can't remember what year it was.
It's been more than a minute.
Yeah, it's been more than a minute. And so you were like slaying the fucking dragon on some workout, like you're like growing like your life depended on it and doing some other shit. And I was like, dude, that guy is killing it. And you know who else was there was R2.
Jeez, don't I'm good, but that's great. That's a whole different level of animal. R squared is an animal, man.
He's a fucking animal, and so I showed up and I was like, oh man, I got to get a workout in, but I don't know if I want to work out around you guys. I'm gonna have to go off of here, just like hang out by myself and maybe like run in the desert or something. But so Ray's always been that guy as long as I've known him. First time that I met him, like just crushing it, super excited, very motivated, and he's the guy that's like gonna lift up a room and fill it through full of energy and be one of those guys that's a positive influence. And I will say that about you, it's genuine in the sense of like it is genuine. And so you see some of these guys, they're like, motivational fucking speaker guys, and it's like, that ain't genuine, man.
Well, I call them motivational retards, and I don't mean that in a bad way, because you can tell it's an act, it's a gimmick, and you've known me for a long time. I mean, I remember old school Evan, the chef. That's who I remember, the cook. Most people, I don't know if they know that, but you're a fucking like professional chef. And the thing is with me is, like I told you, you love me or you hate me. There's no with my wife, she was just like, I don't grow on people, because what you see is what you get. That's gotten me in trouble many a times. But also, I think, people that are at the level of being CEOs of companies and entrepreneurs and people who've been there, and I know, dude, you're at the top, but you've worked hard to get there. They realize that, they can resonate with it, and they just say, when I walk into a room, it's like, hey, I'm here, and let's talk and let's motivate. But it all comes from my shitty childhood, and and like I said, about 15 years ago, I just said, screw this shit. And there's always that one negative person that walks into a room and they're not happy with their lives and not happy with their wives or whatever it is. Right. And the ratio, I read a study, and it's funny, I actually started reading here recently, is they said for every negative person, one negative person, you need 7 positive people to counter that. So
holy
right then and there,
shit,
yeah,
really?
it's a true story. They did a study on it. And I just said, you know what? I'm going to be that positive motherfucker that walks into a room all the time and is happy. And I'll make this real clear with you. We've had to get up and last minute moves and things we've had to do. And yeah, I'm not happy about it. But the thing is me bitching about it to like you, that does no good. And then the thing is you might be on a high or you might be teetering, and me coming in with a negative response it's gonna counter that. I call it, the domino effect of shit. Right. And I come up with these crazy acronyms and stuff, and people are like, it's so simple. It is simplistic. It's keep it simple, stupid, the acronym. Right. That's how I live my life, just and get out there. I like shaking hands, kissing babies. I am the Richard Dawson. If nobody knows who that is, he's the guy that used to be the original Family Feud guy that would kiss everybody. I will, fucking hang out, and I just love meeting. I'm a people person. Yeah, and that's what I want to do.
Well, and it's obvious, and not to belabor a point, but it's like it's so obvious because I follow you, I watch your social media, and I'm like, that's right, man.
You just started following me. Don't tell everybody
I had a reason I wasn't following you before.
Yes.
It wasn't because I didn't love you, buddy. It's just that
And I should have listened to you about that. I didn't, but I've made amends with the same thing. We're not going to get into that, but. I recently saw that person, and I try to take the higher road. And that's the thing. Back in the day, I wouldn't have taken a higher road, but I've taken a higher road. I've taken advice from you, and I should have listened to you back then, and I didn't. So I apologize. You, Johnny Primo, a few other people told me the same damn thing.
God bless Johnny Primo too, man. Like, he's another fucking positive influence. He's a great guy. The other thing I like, man, because so we have another. Ray and I know a ton of the same people, and it's like through coincidence and fucking random connections. So a couple years ago, I put on an event up in Utah, and my buddy Tyler Gray was like, "Hey man, you got to meet." And Tyler is fucking like he's on like. He's on afterburners all the fucking time. Yeah,
he's too legit to quit. I love Ty, man.
He's fucking awesome. So Tyler is at this event, and he's like, "You've got to meet my buddy, like Bert. You've got to meet him. He's like this epic man. You guys are gonna hit it off." And I was like, "Okay, well, like, let's go, man. Fly him up here. Let's meet him tomorrow." And so we're all sitting there, Tyler, Bert, me, and I was like, and then we were talking about this show Selection.
Yeah, I heard about it. I heard it was good.
I actually really love the show, and when I say I actually love the show, because there are guys from the community that are like, well, I didn't like it or whatever. I was like, I think it's awesome. I think it was a great recruiting tool. I think you guys represented the community extremely well. I think you represented the community extremely well.
Thank you.
Like, I could not see one negative thing from that show, and I thought it was freaking awesome, man. So, like,
it was a good one.
How, like Peter Berg was involved on that, right, at some point, and like,
it's funny. People always ask me, like, what comes to mind when you do that show? And, and I know we have the SF SEAL thing. I've got great hair. Your hair looks like shit right now, and that's cool. But, but Tyler, Bert, Donnie, they weren't the SEALs, and I tell you, man, from the minute, and I never met these guys before.
Right.
Never met them before. But the minute that we met, it wasn't like, and you know how it is. And it was usually it's a dick measuring contest. I'm Irish, so I'm not going to win anyway. And, Donnie's black, so I had that double negative going against me. But on a serious note, the guys were just so cool, so laid back, and I can be a lot, like me and Donnie hit it off right away. Tyler and Bert were kind of like, dude, is this guy for real? Because I am, when I walk in, I'm a lot, but we built, I always tell people, whenever you do training, hearts, minds, sometimes bones were broken, usually feelings, but there were like friendships forged. Bert's doing, God, everybody's doing these great things. Donnie owns a gyms. Christ, Bert's turned into Jeremiah Johnson, and I love him,
right?
With the bison stuff.
Yeah.
The only two things that I'm pissed off about in the world is I have nothing Black Rifle, and I have nothing bison.
Really?
Yeah. And you know why? Because one, I'm cheap and I won't buy anything. Right. And two, to make you feel even worse, I'm going to give these. Look at this. And this is not props. I actually have to give you this right now. But now I can say that I gave you something.
Oh, shit.
And you haven't given me anything. So I have, I'll still wait for that gun.
That's awesome.
But no, Bert and them, it was humbling because those guys were so laid back. They're so intellectually, tactically sound. And, the story about Ty, I'm not going to get into it, but, the arm and the shit that Ty has really done, because he's such a quiet guy about it. I was like, I had to like pull shit out of him every day. I'm like, you did this. And, we're not going to get into that, how Ty is. But he was like, I was like, oh, you didn't tell me you did that. Well, yeah, I didn't see a reason to. And I love that. And, Bert is probably one of the most savvy businessmen I've ever met. He approaches everything with a plan, like Bert, like me, I'm like run through wall, and Donnie is the epitome of the quiet professional. And then, you have the three team guys, Marcus Capone and Sean Haggerty. I mean, dude,
awesome guys.
Sean Haggerty, when he did, the funny thing is in the show, he did 1,000 sit-ups.
Right.
There was no editing. And I'm not saying he did 998. He did 1,000. 2 days before, I'm in the gym with Marcus Capone and we're working out. We did a 45-minute workout. Me and him were doing this like Tabata thing.
Right. Sean
is doing 1,000 sit-ups straight. And I'm literally like, okay, yeah, he's going to do a couple.
Right.
And, Sean's not got the Adonis washboard abs. And he starts doing them. I'm like, what are you going to do? He's like, I'm going to do 1,000 sit-ups. I'm like, shut the fuck up. And sure enough, man, me and Marcus were like, what is going on? But my point is the caliber of individuals are what made that show. There was no cuts. There was no redos.
Right.
We actually designed the program. History came to us and said we want to do this. And I got to give credit where credit's due. Bert and Ty, pretty much, they're really big on that industry. They were the ringleaders of that and just said like, hey, you do this and you do this and you do this. And then from there, we worked it just like a platoon. We all did everything and we just presented it back and it was yay, nay. And I think the show was a great hit. I wish we would have done another season, but,
That's what I was going to ask you. Like, why? Because watching it, going, this is a great show. It looked like it was well received. There were a ton of people that like reading comments online and like looking at it.
Every day I get probably 20 comments.
So do you know why they didn't do another season?
Two things I've heard, and I love history. They follow 101 people, and I'm one of them.
Right.
I think it was on the wrong network. I think if it would have been on a primetime channel, and people could have really seen it.
Right.
Because everybody says, well, we're here at SHOT Show. People come up, man. I had a SWAT officer come up to me. I made my son watch this show, and it changed his life. And I mean, that's what it's about. It's not about the money. It's about the message. And I just don't think the time that it aired, it was Thursday. I think there's things that could have helped us. I mean, look at SEAL Team right now. SEAL Team's crushing it. Ty's crushing it. And that show's crap. I'm kidding. It's a great show. It's a great show. I know a couple of the guys there, but I just think it was.
I love the turn of irony in this, though, which is Tyler's a Delta guy that's like.
Well, I wasn't even going to say that. Yeah, it's funny because Ty just had a birthday.
Yeah.
And we both know that. And I always write happy birthday to the greatest fake SEAL I know. And he's just like, fuck you. And I love it. But I asked Ty, and the thing is he's a horrible SEAL because. If you know Ty, he just always wakes up and his hair looks like shit.
Yeah.
And that's his person. He doesn't give a fuck, but he does. He's such a kind soul.
Yep.
But I told him, dude, comb your hair. Dude, trim your beard. And he's like, this is me. And, that's what I love about Ty. He's not going to change for me, you, or anybody. And him and Matt Best, they've got a great relationship. I mean, actually, the one video that they did where it was kind of a serious, I got kind of choked up about it because I like seeing, because everybody thinks, Matt's this goofball. And actually, if you really know Matty, dude, he's a super intellectual dude and he's super smart. And it's so funny when you see people, on the camera, they're one way, but like if we're putting a couple beers back and stuff, you see the real guys. Actually, I saw Matt's wife the other day and I said hi. Yeah, Noelle said hi to her. And, she's saying all these great things Matt's doing, but then all of a sudden you see Matt doing these crazy fucking videos. And my wife, dude, let me tell you why. My wife has 3 freebies: Matt Best, Johnny Primo, I have no fucking clue why, and Mike O'Hearn, the bodybuilder. So my wife literally said,
Primo's the wild card in that scenario. I get Matt all day long because
I get it too. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is about Johnny, but my wife, every time she sees him, she gets flustered. And I'm like, what the fuck? And whenever I'm going out of town, he's like, if you need me to come cut your grass, I'm like, no, I don't need you. My grass is fine.
I'm good, man. I'm good. Well, that's like those guys. And yesterday, Ray and I were on top of the 511 booth, and it was like, we had how many guys? Yeah,
God. Ronin Tactics too was that, dude. I tell you what, I was actually more impressed. I mean, I'm not a small dude, and I put my arm. It's the first time we met,
right.
And I met his wife, Ruthie, and we're. And the cool thing that people don't know is, we're all friends on social media, but like we're sending Christmas cards to each other. Swag, hats. I actually got some swag for you, and I give swag out. Like there's swag you can buy,
right?
And there's like I gave you a coin. There's swag that I don't sell, and that's to the brotherhood. And and what I love about getting up there and talking is. We're not doing I don't want anything from anybody. It's just we talk, giving hugs, and I'm a big Goldberg fan. We're doing some stuff with I think Royce Gracie with the Right On Optics. We're doing that today. Just great dudes. And what's so cool is when you take all the people away. Like how often can I get and sit to talk to you? I mean, seriously, for the last 5 years. You've been a ghost, and then you had this come to Jesus thing with Ray. And I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, if you're friends with Evan and he has a come to Jesus moment, hit him up for the gun because that's what I did. I was like, well,
he didn't hit me up for anything.
No,
I was like, I was talking to Bert. And to be quite frank with you too, like once Bert left, like if people aren't in the office, I don't really talk to him. So Bert went to Wyoming, and now Bert and I have to schedule a weekly half-hour conversation. Like that's my life. And that's like one of my best friends. I got to schedule a fucking weekly half-hour conversation with him through my executive assistant. And he's like, dude, I get it. And thank God he's, understanding. And I'm not like by any stretch of the imagination do I think that's great. It's one of the big things in my life I really want to fix, but you have to concentrate on that. And you have to go to work solving the problem where it's like, man, how do I divide up my time and prioritize and do all these things? But
exactly,
you got to still be a friend.
Yeah,
you can't just be, And that's the thing about you is you've never in our entire friendship you've never asked me for one thing. In all actuality, you didn't ask, and I was like, man, why the fuck isn't Ray doing stuff with us? And then Bert was like, because he didn't want to ask you.
Well, it's funny because when I jumped over to the dark side, Bert called me, and Bert's Bert's a quiet soul, but he's I'm a big guy, but when he gets on you, man, it's kind of like listen up. And he was like, he literally said, hey man, I got a question for you. And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, what are you doing? And I said, oh, I'm running. He goes, stop. I didn't talk to you for a second. You know, and Bert's that guy. You know, he demands respect and he gives it. And I said, yeah, what's up? He goes, why the fuck did you? And I said, dude, I'm not going to go asking for anything. He goes, all you got to do is ask. We would have done this and this. And I said, that's just not my style, man.
Yeah.
And I think in a way Bert respects me. I hope Bert respects me. But I was just like, I don't. Life's not about gimme, gimme, gimme. It's about, you know, I want to show you, and then if it works out, it works out. But you know, back to what you were talking about real quick, and I know we're turning and burning here. You know, when you were starting up everything, and like me right now, my Conquer, I have the 3 F-bombs I live by. That's it. That's how I've changed it.
3 F-bombs?
3 F-bombs. So it's family, fitness, and finance.
Yep.
That's what I do. And the thing is people go, how do you find balance? And this is what I'm going to tell people. There is no balance.
Right.
You have to figure out, because my balance and your balance are two different things. Mm-hmm. So my thing is I tell people, find out what works for you. And they were like, well, that is balance. No, it's not. Because there's days where I'm focusing more on my family, and other days where, you know, I'm focusing more on fitness. Obviously, we got to stay fit. And it's not, I don't care about fitness. It's more about being healthy.
Right.
I don't give a shit about that. So that's one thing. And then after that, you know, it's all about, you talk about it. You were talking about the time. It's time management. I say guarding your time, right? I'm not a businessman. I guard my time. So I have to use it very wisely. It's the most precious commodity we have. And it's one thing, it doesn't care if you're white, black, yellow, green, rich, poor. When your time's up, brother, it's up. So
we're all on the same schedule, man.
You know, and I mean, you're running, you know, you got a gazillion people that work for you. You got all this stuff going on. I don't know how the fuck you do it. You know, I'm trying to, it's funny because I tell people, and this is advice that I would have told you when you were climbing the ladder, is if you want to be at the top, you can't be scared of heights. And people go, that makes no sense to me. It does. I actually know people that have tried to get to where you're at, and when they get up there, the air's hard to breathe. You know, they don't like it, and they start climbing back down. But people like you and me, man, I like it. I like being at the top, and I'm not where I want to be. I'm always striving to be better.
I don't think I'm just like looking at myself, looking at you, like, man, I don't think that ever goes away. I think you're like, if you're a guy that's into individual evolution, that's who you are, and you're always going to be striving to evolve. It doesn't matter, right? It's just like, it's not about necessarily even being not satisfied. It's about always seeking improvement and trying to evolve a certain portion. It's like, man, at the end of the day, you know, if you only have 15 minutes out of the day and that's it, I guarantee you're probably going to be knocking out push-ups or spending time with your wife.
Master of me, baby. I'm the master of me.
It's like, and we talked about it a lot on our previous podcast, which was, it's choices, right? You're just super easy, black and white.
Yep.
You can choose to do the hard right over the easy wrong. And if you're a hard right over the easy wrong guy, that's your life. That's who you are.
Yep.
And that's who you've always been. At least that's the guy that I've always known, is like, dude, Ray's always supermoto, fucking working his ass off. Like, so there's the external component, like what people see of you, and then there are your friends, the way that they see you, right?
Yeah, like you said, the real me, you know?
The real you.
And the thing is the real me, I mean, what you see in the social media is me.
Exactly.
You know, I don't turn it off when I'm, you know, but, you know, people always think I'm crazy, but, you know, like, perfect example. A hot night for me is me and the wife and some PJs with my daughter, and we're watching. I'm beyond the big parties, you know, like we were talking about that last night. What you do? You know, I hung out with a few people, hung out with Elliot, the SEAL that's in a wheelchair, and called it a night, man. I'm over the big parties and the VIP shit. I'm 46, man. I've been there. I've done it. And you know, well, it's funny. I saw Matty a few years ago when we were having the private party at Yardbird, and he was walking with Noel and was like, hey, man, you want to come? And he's like, no. All I want to do is just walk around with Noel and go to bed. And I was like, I get it, you know, because he's always, when you're always being pulled on in 1,000 ways, you know, you just need that time. But you know, like I'm conquering me, and that's what I'm going to do right now.
And that's the thing that I really like, and that's kind of where I'm going back to, is like, what you see is what you get, man. And Ray's, and for those of you guys that are, you know, going to follow Ray, it's like, when you watch what he's putting out on, you know, IG or social or wherever it's at, like, that's him. You fucking grind, and everybody knows it. Like, your reputation, it precedes you even in the community. Like, Ray's a hardworking motherfucker. Like, that dude, like, he fucking grinds, and he grinds hard. And that's your reputation inside the community, and I think it's your reputation external facing. When those things match, and I'll take it back to a coffee analogy.
Yeah.
A good, high-quality roasted coffee, the external bean, when you grind it, will match the internal. So if you over roast something and you roast it too fast, it's lighter on the inside and it's darker on the outside, right? But when you hit the perfect roast, it matches external and internal as far as color. Ray's internal reputation matches his external reputation, and what that means is authenticity. And authenticity is fucking hard to find, man. Yeah. And when you find it, you got to latch onto it. Going back to my original conversation was like coming back to some of my friends that I've not been able to communicate with or whatever. I have to apologize to him, man. I had to apologize to him and go, dude, I've been a shitty friend. You know, my priorities are, business, but that doesn't excuse not talking to guys.
Nothing but love, brother. You know it don't bother me, but yeah. And I'm not going to lie to you. When you start talking about coffee beans, I get aroused because you're the best in the biz. So I got a little chub going on right here. But yeah, and that's just me. See, that's how I change the momentum of you giving me a compliment. Yeah, man, it's good stuff. I mean.
You got to talk about your new venture, man. You got to get into that.
So we'll talk about the venture and a couple of the cool things that I got going on. So right now I just opened, well, it's open, but we are doing a hard launch. We're down in Gatesville, Texas.
Yep.
It's called Mission Critical. You can get it at missioncriticaltx.com. Check it out, guys. We're putting on, we have everything from 9mm out to 1,800 yards. We're doing, it's sexy, it's cool. And if you want to please follow us on Instagram, it's Become Mission Critical. Do that. I'm doing some great things with some people, great people. I got to give a big shout out. I'm here at SHOT Show.
Yep.
At the Right On Optics booth. Right On Optics. I became one of their ambassadors. They are doing great stuff. They've got great glass. I'm trying to expand from the world of 200 and in to 200 and out. So,
right.
I'm starting to do the transition from their cool red dots and their 3x to some of their bigger power stuff. But I'd like to give Right On Optics a huge shout out. They've taken me in, welcomed me as family. I love them so much. And the cool thing is about them and how I am is, we were talking about this. I used to be an ambassador for a whole bunch of companies.
Right.
And and I've learned, at first you warned me, I jumped in and I've learned that I'm only going to be associated with people that do good things, that build quality products, that believe in my mission. I am an ambassador to pretty much 3 quick things. And number 1, Right On Optics is the biggest one that I'm doing right now. I do a thing with NFW watches. Guy George Fox gives money to vets. And then, of course, I got to give a shout out to Frog Fuel.
Oh, fuck yeah. So Jeff, I got to get him on the podcast
Jeff's here.
too.
Jeff's here.
I got to get him here.
Him and Kay Courtley are both here. And I'm record. But I'm doing some great stuff with Right On Optics. And what's so cool is it's a blend and it's a fit for the range. They've generously donated optics. I'm doing some stuff with Clark, Frogman 2155.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah.
But yeah, I'm at if anybody, I don't know when this is coming out, but they brought me out to Vegas. I'm signing autographs. If anybody wants to, who the fuck wants my autograph, but kissing babies. So I just got to give Jeremiah and the whole team and Brady a big shout out. And please, please, please follow us at, check them out at rightonoptics.com. And the last thing, and I'm gonna let it go, is I'm doing the motivational speaking.
Yeah.
I'm doing the drive, the grind, not grinder. I don't know. Grinder I heard was something else. But frogmindset.com. I'm doing individual training. I've got 6 NFL pros. I do Fortune 500 companies. I'll come out and beat the fuck out of Black Rifle and show you guys how it is. And all you got to do is pay me with a bunch of coffee.
Well, we're putting in this gym in the office. So once we get the gym in, I'll have you out because that would be fucking awesome.
I love it. I would love to destroy Matt Best. I'd do a one-on-one. Because Matt's a beast, though.
He's a beast.
I don't even know if I could beat Matt.
Well, the great thing, like, Ray's easy to follow. I mean, he's got a big social media presence. His videos are freaking awesome.
Thank you.
Like, you got to go just check him out, and he'll have links and stuff like that in his social pretty much all times. And like, your Instagram stuff's awesome. The stuff that you're doing with your wife is cool. And
Sexy
a lot of guys will say, well, how do you do it all? I'm telling you right now, man, like, Ray's the guy that has so much fucking energy. Like, he's got to bucket it in a couple different things. And
it's a gift and a curse. It is. Seriously.
Yeah.
My wife was like, fucking slow down. I'm like, I'll slow down when I'm dead. I will. Time is, I'm trying to get as much as I can. Do what you can with what you got.
Right.
Is my motto. Be great today, be a bitch tomorrow. And when tomorrow comes, I say it again. So I'm
be
not
great today and a bitch
be a
tomorrow.
bitch tomorrow. And then when I wake up, some people prolong greatness. I prolong being an underachiever is how I do it. So by doing that, every morning I get up, when you're tired,
Yep.
you remember the runs, the ruck humps, the swims, you get up the next day and it's like, fuck, all right, we're going to do it again. Tomorrow I'll rest. When I get up the next day, there's no rest. One person rested on Sunday. I'm not him when he created the earth and I don't get religious, but so I'm going to just keep grinding.
Well, fuck Ray, it was awesome, man. Like, I can't thank you enough for coming in. I know
Honor,
we
sir. Thank
we
you.
got tons of shit that we got to knock down, but we got to have you back. So we'll do a call in on the next one, and we'll get an update to Mission Critical, what you guys got going on in the next show, and just fucking love you, buddy.
Thank
it's
you, sir.
awesome to see you, brother.
Thanks.